Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. This short video is going to be about resonance in watches, and this is only really for the really curious watch collector because it's important, but I don't think everyone is going to get into it, but it's a really cool thing, I think. So whether make up your mind and either come along or not. Okay. Now, the basis for the pursuit of resonance in watches, what is that? Well, when when the vibrations of two balance wheels sync up, the deviations between the two is canceled out. Okay, now you have resonance all over the place. All kinds of things are shaking and jumping and causing these vibrations. But when you put two together in a this is a resonance watch. This was actually, I think, the first wristwatch that had a FP Journe or had a resonance setup in it. And this was done pretty much was FP Journe was following Brigade to some extent, and Hughes and Javier, and they had shown that you have that resonance within a watch, within a clock, has a stabilizing effect on the timekeeping, possibly meaning better accuracy. Now it produces a reduction in the negative effects on the time keeping accuracy, such as outside shocks and other vibrations. So this is sort of an interesting, really different kind of thing. I have a little demonstration in a bit that I'll show you. And so that's the first one I did. They had these two wheels. They were in resonance, and they have sort of a mutual synchronization with one another. Now, another one, a more recent one that was done, was by Vianney Halter. It's called La Resonance. And the concept here, this is what they said about the concept, is that two oscillating bodies in close proximity influence each other and eventually synchronize. In short, a vibration in one object can cause an equal vibration in a nearby object. Now, this has to be done. They have to have the same base, and a base with some that can communicate the vibrations. Now, up in this one that Halter did, he's the only one I know of that used what we'll call a stacked resonance. He had these two balance wheels on top of one another, but they had the same base plate that they worked on together. Now, here's the sort of the up there in the upper left, you can see the plate, the testing plate that Vianney Halter used, and I had one made for me that was not the same, but it was the same concept. Is that putting two balance wheels in close proximity on the same base, on the same plate would create resonance between these two watches. What I did is that I got a couple identical watches. Now, this is one of the concepts, and this is why I said this is for the curious. If you're a physicist, you can correct me if I got something off on this. The resonance forms the basis of every mechanical watch. Okay, since the principle ensues that the balance wheel and the hairspring will oscillate at the same frequency. They've got to. They have to oscillate at the same frequency for the watch to keep time. And the balance wheel receives a regular timed impulse that increases its amplitude. In other words, it makes it swing. And the resonance frequency of the watch. Okay, the resonance frequency describes the natural frequency at which an object vibrates most naturally. And so this is usually between 2.5 hertz, which is 18,000 semi-oscillations per hour, and 5 hertz, which is 36,000 semi-oscillations per hour. And so the modern resonance watches work on the same principle. Each time a balance wheel reaches its high stop, in other words, and then it comes back again, it releases a small part of the energy. This is the best I can do. If you shake the end of a rope or a string, you create a wave like I did. It's hard to see by doing it really quickly like that. But the wave goes to the end here, and then it comes back again. Not as much, but it comes back some. So quickly, let me show you a quick example of this resonance experiment that I put together to show how each one of the wheels they end up having syncing up their movement together. Now I did it in slow motion, and you can see how they're going up and down. And think of each one of the spokes of the wheels as a pendulum, and how they're just swinging back and forth, back and forth. And so they've achieved resonance with one another. Not residence, they don't live together. They're simply put them together on the same plate or the same base plate, and they will work. Now, this demonstration is not, is pretty simple, and it leaves a lot to be desired. However, there are a lot of things about it, though, that shows that it's not that impossible. I mean, if somebody like me can do something like this, and I'm not a watchmaker by any stretch of the imagination, but you can take the same principles and do something with it. Can I do something with that in terms of a watch? Absolutely not. It takes somebody else to do it. Finally, here are a couple more resonance watches, and that's it. I think there are only about four watchmakers who ever attempted them, and one pretentious watchmaker. Anyway, Beat Holloman H2 flying resonance. Now, the energy transfer needs to be completed in another way for this one, because here you have the wheels far apart in Beat's flying resonance. And so they're also now they're free sprung, but instead of springs mounted rigidly to a balance cock, they're attached to a resonance coupling spring. That's how he does it. Armand Strom mirrored force resonance he patented a clutch spring design that maintains an optimal state of resonance by synchronizing two sets of oscillators. Okay, now I realize that this was a lot that may have sounded a bit like, what is this guy talking about? But it's an interesting thing, and I think that if you want to find out more about it, I have some of the links that you've seen. Take a look at them. I think you'll find some interesting stuff. If you've got any comments and you know more about certain aspects of this, let me know. In the meantime, I have I have a resonance watch that I get to play with. Take care. Till next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.